couple years ago, stripping the driveline out of my car, the trans crossmember, I broke a bolt off, so it just snapped flush. There's the crossmember. This bolt here, which if I remember right, is the driver's side rear. It's broken there. The other side, it's not even rusted hardly at all yet, so good idea keeping it dry. Plan for today is to get that out, and oxyacetylene, I think I'm going to try to heat this captive nut and see if I can grip onto there. There's not much to grab, but if I can get vice grips to twist it out, that's fine with me. If that doesn't work, I guess there's the drill. I might have to wait until another day. Still glowing red a little bit. Hopefully it loosens it up. Yeah, there's not much to grab. This might not go smoothly, but if not, maybe getting it red hot will soften it up so it's easier to drill. We'll have to see. Well, to be continued. I drilled through it and I hit it with a chisel. I torched it out and I ran out of oxygen, so I think I burned out some of the threads there, which is kind of a bummer, but if all else fails, I can just take that nut right off and weld on a new one. So that's where I'm at here. Man, things aren't going great. I took a couple days vacation to try to just bust it out, get the engine and trans in the car, and it's not gone to plan. First thing I tried to do is get the cross member. I had a bolt that broke off in one of the bolts. I think we talked about that already, but there's that. I drilled, I torched, I ran out of oxygen. I got new oxygen. I put it back on the torch and blew my regulator, and it looks like it's not a rebuildable style, so that sucks. I might need to just upgrade. They can swap them out for $50, but I'd rather have something I can service myself. I don't want to deal with that. What else? Oh, the engine. So I took the computer from the front corner here and just tossed it all over here like I did last time. I got my KDS mounts on now, but trying to put this in, I meant to bring a light. Yeah, there's my mounts. Not sure if that's showing up on camera or not, but can't get quite far enough back to set that one on the mount on the frame. I'm running into some stuff back here. I need to take that like fuel rail protector thing off because it's just in the way. This one, this side's nowhere close. And the biggest problem is that's as far as I can go with the bumper on the car. So I think that needs to come off. Hadn't counted on that. I bet there's all kinds of rust to deal with. It's something that I need to take apart anyway for intercooler and crap like that eventually, so I guess tomorrow or tonight, good a time as any. Here's that pressure regulator I was talking about that failed. Basically I turned the oxygen on and a bunch of air rushes out of that hole, and I could unscrew this part off and get out the spring, but the diaphragm wouldn't come off. I don't know if it's just stuck on there or if you like have to rip it to get it off. The diaphragm looks okay. I think it's actually the O-ring that's inside, but I guess this has seen better days anyway. Maybe it's time for an upgrade. Other things that screwed up my vacation plans were I was mowing and one of my belts burned up in this deck. So at least one belt needs to get ordered. I haven't done that yet, but I got it back together with the belt as is, but it won't tighten, so it's just going to come off again. And then since this quit, I switched to my 0-turn mower. Could probably throw in a few pictures from doing this job, but all day yesterday was spent booger welding this thing back together. My seat broke while I was mowing, and I don't think they come in like a fatter guy version. Oh, look at that beautiful welding I did. Pretty good with a grinder too, because those welds were too big to fit, at least the ones under the pan. Anyway, that was all day yesterday. Stuff's just not working the way I'm trying to make it work. Okay, front bumper removal. I think I need to do this. I need to get the engine mounted so that I know where the trans sits, so that I can figure out what trans fittings to buy. Either the banjo or the 90-degree AN. So I have to struggle around here. Started off taking out 3 screws on each side. Those are all Phillips P2 size. Then I'll take off these guys. Underneath, looks like I've got 2 screws there, 2 there, and then 4 screws here. I don't know what's under the headlights, but we'll get to that next. All that stuff I'm just taking out and putting in here. When I say P2 screwdriver, I mean literally it says P2 right there. So Phillips screwdrivers come in different sizes. This is a P0. This is probably a P1, yep. And I tried all of them just to make sure I got the best traction inside the screw, because things are rusty in Michigan. So those are all 7mm head screws, hex head I should say. This one came out, so correction, there's only one here. I don't know what I was thinking. That's not holding the bumper on. This one snapped. Rusty stuff. These all came out. Those little P2 screws are out, so this trim is loose up to here. Another correction. These guys are the plastic pull tabs, so not screws. Let's see how that goes. Learned a new skill just now. You guys ever use a pair of diagonal cutters to get these to pop up? There we go. Pops out nice. It's one of those I'm so proud of myself moments. Still not loose. I found a few more of these plastic deals under here. It looked like 3 at first, and then I see there's more. So that's at least 5. And there's some more even further, so I think I'm just gonna take these plastic deals out. It'll give me more access. It looks like I'll need it to get the bumper, the metal part of the bumper anyway. Yeah, I used some PB Blaster penetrating oil, but didn't help. This inner wheel well is just too rusted out, so the anchor points are just spinning up there, and little flakes of them are falling out. This side I did get loose, but not because the fasteners came free. Just all that rust just kind of let go of it. The holes are big enough for the screws and the holders to come right out. So it looks like there's one little plastic Christmas tree thing in there that's holding this on, and I'll get that out of here next. So I got those Christmas trees out of here by just like squeezing on it with the pliers and twisting and pushing, and they finally came out. They're all mangled. One of these, the bolt, I think stayed in the car. This one just pulled right out of the bodywork. That pulled right out, that pulled right out. So the bolts are still in, but they're not probably gonna do much ever again. Not sure if I want to put these parts back in. Someone's getting it out there. So underneath, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these plastic clips. So there's 1, 2, there's 4 screws all together. There's 2 more on the other side. So far I've only tried one, and oh my god, it came out. They feel like they're on the verge of rusting and breaking. We'll see how that goes. Alright, all 4 of those screws actually came loose. Couldn't believe it. To get these little things that line up with the body to come out, I had to take out 2 more screws here. So I think if I take those out on the other side, we should be free. Oh man, that was a lot of rusty fasteners. It's never going to go on the same again. You can see why drift guys use zip ties. I got 1 screw stuck in the trim over there, but a lot of this stuff surprised me and came out. Like I assumed over half of it would just snap off. That's usually what happens when you work on a car up here. That we put a lot of salt on the roads, and it just eats the cars. Things that attach to the bumper are 8 nut and bolts that were amazingly easy to remove. The little screws were through the top of the frame. If you've taken apart cars for Derby, this is probably standard GM thing, but this went through the top of the frame and threaded into this bracket, and this bracket holds this shock, and if you don't unbolt either there or here, you can't get the bumper out. I hope I made enough room here. The front bumper's completely off, and the fuel rail protector deal is off the back of the engine, so that shouldn't get in the way as I drop it in. Yeah, so I feel like this is the 6th or 7th day I've said this is my goal, but goal tomorrow is drop in the engine, mount the transmission to it, get the cross member up there, and see if that second hole in the cross member is going to work for the 4L80E, or if I have to cut and hack, weld something on. I don't care. Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned I went to the junkyard and got a yoke for the back of the transmission, so I should be able to measure for drive shaft length once I figure out where the transmission's going to sit. I also want to check the column shifter still works. Everybody's getting all these ratchet shifters in their race cars, which sounds awesome, but I mean, there's already a shifter there, and I used to use it all the time when I was downshifting to slow down and save brakes and whatever. So, man, everything takes 5 times longer than you think it will. At least it's not costing me money yet, other than in soap. All right, the engine is in, and every time you put the engine in, you're 1 time closer to having it in the last time. I don't think this is the last time it's going in. I think I'll remove it to do wiring later on. But it's in there, there's no jack. I've just got these ratchet straps jankily holding it up. So next up, transmission. Be back after I get that up there. One other thing to note, when I was trying to get the motor mount bolts in there, I was using the bolts that came with the KDS kit, and to be honest, the stock bolts are a lot easier to get in because they've got like that triangle narrow point at the end, so as you get through the motor mount and it's not lined up perfectly, that thing will help guide it into place. So keep your stock ones if you got them. So the engine's sitting up here with as much set forward as you can get, which hopefully will give me enough room to get the bolts in for the trans bell housing. Tried to put the trans up, but this bracket here is in the way. It's not in there too tight, I can get it out, but it's holding up my exhaust. And I think I need to cut the exhaust to get it out. I'll try to save my tailpipes, but the cherry bombs and the pipes leading up to them I think might be done for. Pains me to do that. I love my cherry bombs, but this exhaust system is 2 1/4 inch, and that's probably not going to be enough for my goals. It shouldn't be too hard to get out because a lot of these hangers have rotted and split. But man, when I had this made, this guy did a good job. Diamond Hugo Fab, or fabrication, I'm not sure what he called his company exactly, but it took a while, but it came out real nice. Looked stock, sounded good. I'm sure it's not his favorite kind of work to do. This was no race car, but I liked it and I drove it for years like that. So I think I'll slice right after the muffler so that I can keep the hanger. And if I'm gonna do tailpipes again someday, I can just hang those back up again, and I don't know, we'll see if that works. For a turbo, I'm thinking probably dual 3-inch would be better. Alright, no more exhaust system. Got some remnants of broken hangers, but got that one popped, that one popped. Oh yeah, here we go. 2 nice tailpipes and mid pipes. Next time I think I'll do that with some V-bands so I can remove the middle of the exhaust and leave the tailpipes. But yeah, there's a lot more to worry about before we get to that stage. Well, it's up there. Here, let's get some light going. So, got a couple of bolts in there. Got my motor mount bolted. I haven't tightened those down because they're hard to reach. Well, those are actually pretty easy. It's this side that's hard to reach. That top bolt there, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that. Am I even showing you the right thing here? Let me pop out the viewer. Let's see, bottom bolt, ear, dowel pin, top bolt. I don't think I can even get at that top bolt unless I smash this that piece of the firewall there. Smash that down out of the way. Sort of the same deal up there. Pivot point for the transmission is here, and it seems like this shifter lever is sitting too far back. I'm going to try it out and see what it looks like. Yeah, the shifter Z-bar doesn't fit right. It's too long. It's like the transmission is wider in the tunnel, and the shift linkage is sitting too far back on the trans. So maybe I end up with some different kind of shifter, or I make my own Z-bar. We'll see. What else? Well, I haven't even tried to put the cross member in yet. We could see how that goes. I'll have to eat my words. I got it in. So, see if the sound is satisfying. I have to try again from the top side to see if it works from the lever. Alright, so the shifter did not really work from the column. You go to pull down and you get like reverse neutral and it's starting to bind, and that's about as far as it went. So that's out the door for now. Could do a cable shift, one of those fancy ratchet shifters, but if it's something I can easily modify to make work with the column, I would do that. There might be factory parts that I don't know about that I could swap in. Let me know if you know, throw it in the comments. Otherwise I'll probably just search the internet and find it anyway. Alright, cross member. Cross member's pretty far back from the mounting holes. Same deal here, should be up here, it's back here. I'm crashing into the pan there before I can get the thing up and flat and onto the frame rails. In the back here, it kind of wants to contact here, but I think it's crashing into the transmission before it even hits that. So it's, the other thing is the back hole is right there, and it's almost lined up now with the mount. So I can't push this forward like the other 4 inches it needs to go to be in its stock location. So I think I have to fabricate a new cross member, or I believe they make one for people doing this, all 6 of us in the world. So maybe I'll look into that too. Boy, it's been a busy day. The other thing I needed to know is what sort of fittings are going to clear. And it sure looks like banjo fittings would be the smart thing to do here. Can you see what I'm looking at with the camera? Hang on. Yeah, right there. That fitting probably has 1.5 fingers of clearance, and then can we get it? There's another fitting up here somewhere, I promise. Yeah, up there. That doesn't have much room either. Man. Put a Chevy in a Chevy, it's easy, they say. I'm beat. I'm gonna call it a day.